Well, hello everyone! Isn't it nice to see you in this voiceover on a casual Friday afternoon for my American subscribers, and a casual Friday evening, or maybe even Saturday morning for, the rest of you. But I took a good week off from working on videos in general. I have to say that it wasn't really planned or anything, but you know how I am. I'm always like this. I always like to take breaks that I don't usually plan. But I usually just do it for my mental well-being, and I never want to force myself to work on stuff if I don't feel like it, because, I don't know, there's this one thing called just builder's luck and just burnout in general. And I can tell you that I am extremely scared of that. It's when you actually experience it, it's literally one of the most horrible things on this planet to a builder, Of course, it's not the end of the world or anything, but it is a very annoying thing to deal with, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, honestly. So I'm just trying to avoid it, I'm just trying to do my best. But I woke up today and I was like, you know what? Let's get to work. And so here I am, recording the second to last part of this speed build. Finally, I know, 7 months later. At this point, it's even longer than that. Actually, I don't know. Should we count? I think we should. I'm actually really interested to see. Okay, wait. Hold on. Opening my calendar on my phone. Okay, so if we were to scroll down, I think I posted... Yeah, I think I posted this in March. Now we're going to take a second to look at when I posted this exactly. I mean, not that it's really that important to know when I actually posted it. I just kind of want to know. I really just do want to know. Okay, hold on. When is the release date? Oh, it says that I only posted it 4 months ago? But that's a lie. It's been longer than that. Okay. Oh, it actually is 4 months ago. Oh. I thought I posted this earlier than that. It says I posted the first part, on the 25th of March. Right now it's the beginning of August, so technically, I mean, it kind of is 5 months, actually, not 4. YouTube tends to lie sometimes. So when you really think about it, there's actually quite a big possibility that I'll be able to finish posting this in under 6 months, which to me is an achievement. Well, I mean, this probably is the build that I took the longest with, but we're getting there. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I actually really love saying that. It's like such a creative saying in a way, because it is creative, isn't it? Okay, that was very random, but I wanted to also mention that I didn't just take ages to post the voiceover, or not the voiceover, the speed build itself, but I also took ages to build it. So, it was an experience. Am I glad to finally be almost done? Absolutely. I kid you not, I am so sick of seeing this build, and I think you guys are as well, which I understand. But, I just kind of want to get all of the footage out. I could just kind of leave it, but that doesn't really seem fair. So I'm just gonna finish it. We have this part and another one. We can do this. And I know I said that in the last part, in the last voiceover, with my friend Lily, I said that there is actually 3 parts left. But, I looked at the footage again, and I realized that I could fit in the rest of the footage in a single part, so the next one you'll see will be the last one. There won't be another one. I can just hear all of the thank gods in the background, which I don't blame you for, because I probably do the same. I mean, I'm kind of like that right now, like, thank god, this is almost done. I'm so excited to finally be posting other speed builds. And since I kind of went on a break, if you may call it that, as an apology gift, I'm gonna put out a no Game Pass build. So, okay, I usually don't do this because I'm very irresponsible when it comes to promising builds and then never actually doing them. So take that with a grain of salt, but there's an 80% chance that I'll finish it. My plans for this evening, right now it's 9 p.m. So once I'll finish recording this, I have another voiceover to record with a special someone who you've already seen on this channel quite a lot. But since the voiceovers always go so well, why not do one again, you know? But to what I was basically saying, after I'm done recording all of the voiceovers, I'm gonna try working on that build and I'll try to finish it in a single sitting. It doesn't seem that realistic, but it doesn't hurt to try, so we'll see how it goes. But if I do end up finishing it this evening, you may see that build even on Sunday. I know I can, you know, get my life together and get myself together and just work on the speed build. Because honestly, when it comes to like recording videos and everything, it is much easier to record a voiceover for like a completely new build rather than one that, you know, I've been posting for ages. Because you always have some new things to say about a new build. And then about an old one, especially when it has 10 parts, this one, just kind of, you run out of things to say about it. And, well, that was kind of me. I'm still like trying to keep a few things, you know, for the certain parts. So for example, I have a lot of things to say about this bedroom, but I'll get into that in just a second, I guess. But yeah, so I feel like I'll have a much easier time recording the voiceover for the No Game Pass build than this one, than I am today. But basically, I should have said this at the start of the video because I always do and I for some reason forgot to. I'll be working on the last floor. I'll be completely finishing it in this part, so the entire part is just going to be me working on the third floor of this building. That sounds so weird. I mean, it kind of is a building, but let's just ignore what I said and let's pretend I said chalet. But yes, so it's mainly going to be just bedrooms and I think 2 bathrooms. Not the most interesting speed build, I know, but you know, each house has interesting and then kind of boring parts, and that's just the reality of it. You know, you kind of have to get used to all of it. And I guess that's like one of the things that I kind of hate about building is the fact that some parts just kind of get boring over time. And then you're kind of forced to making solutions, you know, that would make it interesting again. So for example, when it comes to bedrooms, one thing I always avoid doing is making the same, like similar bedrooms, because that just kind of, it really demotivates you. It really does, like I'm not even kidding. Because imagine you'd have to do like a similar bedroom 5 times. That is such a difficult task to do because, well, not like, you know, actually difficult, more like motivation-wise. Because it gets boring to do the same thing over and over again. But I guess that's just, you know, it's up to you. I personally like to enjoy building, so I always make it interesting for myself and I try to switch things up, which usually works out pretty well. But about this room, I kid you not, I had so many issues figuring out what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna put things, because it's such an awkward shape, and I think the room was a bit too big for what I was going for originally. I wanted bunk beds, but this room is just, it's too big for bunk beds. Bunk beds are usually used, you know, in rooms that are smaller and stuff, because that way you just save space. And in this room, I was supposed to do the exact opposite, and instead of saving space, you know, I was supposed to use it somehow. And that's why I had that awkward day bed in the dormer, which I'm still not a biggest fan of till this day. I do love how the bunk beds turn out, but that day bed, I look at it and it makes me mad. But I remember being so sick of this room that I just wanted to move on, so I just kind of kept it. Which, that's not my best choice, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, you know? Sometimes it's just best to leave things when you're not feeling them. And you can take this advice with literally anything, whether it's relationship advice, whether it's building advice, you know, anything. So just keep it in mind, I guess. Okay, actually, don't take relationship advice from me. I'm not the best expert, but I think there are actual like relationship experts or something. So if you do have any issues when it comes to relationships, I'd advise you to, you know, take advice from them and not me. But if you do accidentally take advice from me, I warned you, so you can't blame me if something goes wrong. Okay, did we get that clear? I was so glad. But getting back to the build, as you can see, I'm still working on the last touches before coloring. I'd like to say my building process is a bit different from how everyone usually does it. I think I've talked about this, but you know, it doesn't hurt to talk about it again, does it? I like to first place down all of the items and then figure out the color scheme. Of course, that's probably not the most realistic approach because, you know, when you're designing something in real life, you usually need to pick a color as soon as you're buying, you know, the item. And unfortunately, real life isn't convenient as Bloxburg. So, you know, that's kind of not the best thing that I'm doing it, but again, it's a game. Once the time comes, I'll just switch and I'll do it the proper way. But while I'm still, you know, building in Bloxburg, I'm just gonna stick to this, because why not? But while I was looking at the footage, I noticed that I made a lot of storage space, and I can explain you why I did that. So as you can see, I had plenty of space to fill up, and I somehow didn't put in the dresser. I can judge a build because it's 6 months old by now, so I feel like I wouldn't do this now necessarily. But there's no dresser or anything, and so instead I put lots of storage space under beds, and I think under the desk as well. So technically there is storage space, it's just it's not necessarily functional, which it is an issue. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, back then, in my defense, we didn't really have the items to make it possible, and now we do. For example, the kids' dressers. They're a really good way to make any bedroom functional. So if you're still building this, which I think some of you are, and I have so much respect to you for doing that, because I don't think I would have been able to make it this far. You could use one of those dressers, you know, to make this bedroom fully functional. Of course, it kind of is functional, but you know, there are a few things that change. Oh, and I remember flooring being such a huge issue because I had absolutely no idea what color I wanted it to be, and I just kind of ended up deciding to go with regular wood floors like I did in the rest of the house, but I just made them a different color because the floor started blending in with the walls, and we usually don't want that. So in order to, you know, make it a bit more interesting, I switched up the colors, and that really fixed the entire issue, but it took me a while to figure that out, so there's that. But on the other note, I have heard some rumors that an update is just around the corner, which Bloxburg updates are always fun, and I am kind of excited. I really want new items, and I hope that they maybe introduce like a new technique of some sort, like a building technique, I mean. Because they're just so fun to work with. I don't know. Like new items, they're really fun to work with. They really are, when you really think about it. I mean, don't you guys think that? Okay, maybe it's just me. We all have our own interests and stuff, but I really do enjoy it when there are new techniques in the game. So I'm interested to see what we're gonna get. I think I saw a leak the other day. If any of you still don't know, there is a really good Bloxburg news account, which is my personal favorite right now. Okay, so it's basically Bloxburg. I know I shouldn't pick favorites, but I just like to look at their information. It's really useful, it's really good. But there is a new item called Hollow Roll. I really don't have many ideas for what, you know, it could be, but it looks like it has potential. I mean, am I wrong? No, not really. But so, or maybe it's like for an animation of some sort. Who knows? Well, only Coeptus and Froggy. But I doubt they will tell us before we get to see the update, so that's a bit of a shame. But another Bloxburg secret that probably not every single player knows about is usually when we start seeing leaks, it's exactly when, you know, an update is very close. So some people guessed that it would be coming out today or tomorrow. I don't want to be the one, you know, who would get your hopes up, because I don't know. Updates on Bloxburg are really unpredictable, so I don't recommend to get your hopes up, because then you'll get disappointed, and it's just, no one wants to be disappointed. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. It could be coming out this Saturday, but it also could come out the next Saturday, or maybe even the Saturday after the next one. No one knows. So just, you know, don't try to plan your days around Bloxburg updates, but also don't be afraid to check Twitter, you know, tomorrow and see if the update is out. If it's not, that means it'll be out next weekend. I feel like a lot of people nowadays get their hopes up and then get disappointed that an update doesn't come out, which I understand, you know, why they get hyped up, but, you know, it's really not healthy for your mental health. Wow, I love talking about mental health, but it's just, you know, no one wants to get disappointed, like I've said, so just always take things with a grain of salt. You know, whether you see something on TikTok, I'm telling you this right now, and you need to remember it. Don't take anything you see on TikTok for granted, because people on TikTok love to lie. I saw that there was a rumor or something that Bloxburg would be becoming free in November, and someone got that from TikTok, and it's a complete lie, and everyone got scared and stuff. And honestly, in my opinion, I really wouldn't really mind if Bloxburg was free. I feel like everyone kind of deserves to get a chance to play this game, but on the other hand, I also completely understand why, you know, we need to pay for it, because it's still in the beta version. The game isn't complete, and I feel like it will be complete once they have everything added. By they, I mean the devs. I feel like I always say that. I don't think there was a voiceover when I talked about devs and just didn't say they. Anyways, not the point. But what I was trying to say is basically the only way we will know that the game will be becoming free, you know, is if the devs are gonna announce it. And they haven't announced anything. Both Froggy and Coeptus only have official accounts on Twitter, if I'm correct. I think Froggy has Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna check right now just to make sure. Okay, Froggy hops. Yes, Froggy does have an Instagram account, but Coeptus does not. So if you do see someone with, you know, a name of Coeptus or something, that's probably not him, because people like to pretend that they're the devs and then spread, you know, fake information, and you shouldn't trust those kind of sources. So, you know, just try to remember this whenever you see something on TikTok the next time. Neither of the devs have TikTok accounts, or, you know, at least official Bloxburg ones. So just always remember that Coeptus is only on Twitter, and Froggy does have Instagram and Twitter. But these are the only free social media accounts throughout all of the platforms that are actually, like, ran by the devs. That was a lot to explain. We also know that I'm not necessarily the best at explaining things, so I definitely kind of made it difficult for myself, but not the point. As you can see right now, I'm reducing plot data, and if you've listened to previous voiceovers, you would know how much I struggled with plot data in this build. It was a nightmare. I would repeat one thing, but I've said it so many times already. Well, I'm just gonna repeat it because why not? I cried over plot data in this build. As embarrassing as it is, I managed to cry over plot data in a Roblox game. I know. How could I? Well, things happen. Things really do happen. And I guess me crying over it was just proof. But I remember already going insane while I was working on the second floor when I still had like a whole basement to finish. So I was trying my best to reduce plot data by deleting as many of the trees as possible. And I was trying to make sure that I wouldn't lose the woods effect, I guess, that I created. And it really did take me ages, but I'm glad I kind of made it work. I guess my tears were worth it overall. But honestly, if I were to choose if I would do this again, I probably wouldn't. Because, oh my god, the struggles and everything with this build. It was a lesson learned, to say the least. Actually, is it? I feel like I'll be complaining about the same thing a year later, and then I'll look like a hypocrite. So maybe I'll just not say anything about it anymore. But it is a fun story to, you know, remind everyone from time to time. Because no one usually cries about plot data. But if you did ever do the same thing as me, don't worry, you know? It could be the two of us who actually cried about it. And, you know, if you laugh about it, shame on you. Honestly, shame on you. It happens and you just don't understand the struggle if you find it funny. No, that's actually a joke. I mean, I find it hilarious that I did that, but... Well, like I said, things happen. But anyways, I think it is time to have an obsession talk. Recently, I've been really obsessed with this one architectural digest series on YouTube. You probably already know what I'm talking about, but it's like such a cool concept, and I love watching it because I love anything interior design related. You know, whether it's interior design shows. I saw that Dream Home Makeover came out with a third season, which I still need to watch. Just never had the time to do it. Right now, I'm still watching The Desperate Housewives. Such a good show, I love it. You know, there's just something about housewife drama that I find so interesting and entertaining. And oh, to be one of them one day. But that is not the point, as I wanted to tell you how I actually watch different TV shows. I have methods for everything, as you can tell, which I kind of like to live my life this way. I find it much easier. But when it comes to shows, I usually like to finish a show fully before I can get to other ones, because I have this stupid thing where if I just move on to a show without finishing the one I was watching before, I'll never finish that one. So I always kind of need to finish watching before I could move on to something else. So for example, Desperate Housewives has, I think, 8 seasons or even 9, and well, if I start watching a show, best believe I'm gonna finish it all. So that means I need to finish the 8 seasons before I could get to the Dream Home Makeover series. And I got an email notification earlier today, that apparently Never Have I Ever came out with season 3 too. So I have things to watch. Just first I need to finish Desperate Housewives, which I'm not complaining because the show is amazing. But back to the YouTube series, I kind of went off track with, you know, the whole show thing. But anyways, yeah. So there's this one series, and it's called, I think, actually, I want to get the name right, so I am going to look it up. So you're just going to have to wait a second, or more like 15 seconds. Okay, so it's called Free Interior Designers Just Transform Different Spaces. Oh, no. That's just the title. Space Savers. That's what it's called. And they recently started this series on the channel, and they have these free awesome designers who I love so much. I actually follow them all on Instagram, so I'm gonna find all of their names. I know that one of them is Joyce, but I forgot her last name. I I'm really horrible. Fun fact about me, I'm so horrible with remembering birthdays and last names. It's just one thing I can never remember. I struggle with it so hard. But I mean, on the other hand, we always have things that we struggle with, right? Yeah, right. Okay, just give me another second. Architectural digest. They need to have all of the designers tagged. There's no way that they don't. Excuse me? Where is the post? Hello? Oh, it's not there. Can you guys believe this? Oh wait, maybe it is there. I just need to scroll down. But it doesn't seem like there is. Why are they doing this to me? Okay, now I need to go through my following, which is going to take a little bit more. But it will be worth it, I promise. Oh, found something. Okay, so the first interior designer, who is, I guess, a bit more sophisticated, her name is Joy Moyler. And she, I love her interiors. They're so chic. They're so fancy. They're so elegant. Love it. Then another designer is Nozawa, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I really hope I pronounced it correctly. Not only am I bad with remembering last names, I'm also horrible with pronouncing them. But she has a very, how do I say this? She likes a lot of color. So her interiors are extremely vibrant. And then I also love Darren Jett's projects. He has like a very specific aesthetic. And I think it's so moody, which is kind of like my thing. A lot of you know I actually like a lot of darker interiors rather than something bright, because I don't know, it's just, I guess it's more cozy and just easier to relax in, if I may say so. But yeah, so these are the three interior designers, and since they all have like three extremely different aesthetics, they make the spaces that they're given so different and so cool. And so far the series does have only 2 episodes, which is not the most, but both of the videos are so good. They're only 20 minutes each, which is not long at all. But you know, they go from the layouts to decorations to colors to light fixtures, and it's just so interesting to also see how real life designers, you know, actually do things. And they sometimes mention a few techniques, or for example, a specific process that lets you color metal and, you know, make it still durable. It's a series that you can learn a lot in. So if you're struggling with finding things to watch, I'll leave the first episode of the series down in the description so you guys could check it out and, you know, let me know what you think. But I definitely can tell you that if you're like really interested in, you know, interior design shows and stuff, you're definitely going to enjoy it. I personally find that a bit more interesting than Dream Home Makeover, but I just said a little bit. I'm not saying that Dream Home Makeover is bad or something. It's still an amazing show. So fun. I love Shay because she's so talented. But yeah, I suppose that's it with Obsession Talk for today, for this specific voiceover in general. And I think this is probably the time where I could say goodbye until, you know, the next voiceover, which is gonna be pretty soon, since I'm gonna record a second one right after this one. But yeah, it was nice having you here. I really hope you enjoyed this voiceover, and I hope to see you in the next one. Like I said, I'll link the series I talked about in the description. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
We don't know what will happen tomorrow, but I hope a good surprise. I could flip all the time that I borrowed and make another life. You can break my stride. There's a palace in my mind, made of light, and it shows. Yeah, yeah. The stars are
sipping it. Watch a bunch of shows, I'm getting it. Yeah, I understand it's a quarantine, I got to be chilling all alone, but I'm getting sick. People who be running half the office, signing politics, scrambling to tell the kid to stop. I ain't gonna leave the room, I don't wanna kill a few with that, the shit that is inside my top. Look at the drop, taking it bigger than now, taking it part of the crowd, don't wanna pop, I don't want anyone down, better be kicking them out. Look at the box, smoking loud up in my damn house, solo though I know I'm never going on and out. Party on my own, y'all. Look at how the people tryna hold me back, going so loud. Look at how the people tryna hold me back, told me that, slow down. Fuck going out, getting high on the weekend, only now. So loud, on party on my own. Party on my own. I'm doing doing what I'm doing, I don't got a lot to prove. And if I'm moving, then I'm grooving, cause I wanna do it, stupid. Got my music and I lose it to another tune or two. If I don't get to move it, even real can do it. When I'm cooking, then you know I'm cooking bacon. You don't wanna check under the apron. Vacuum the whole room naked, facing windows so people who out getting the greatness. Telling me better to hate this, really don't, it ain't shit when you could compare to what the other people facing. So what I am drinking, still half full is true when comparing to the nations. On my own now, look at how the people trying to hold me back, going so loud. Look at how the people trying to hold me back, told me that slow down. Fuck going out, getting high on the weekend. So loud, I'll party on my own. Hold me back, party on my own. Hold me back, hold me back. Party on my own now. Look at how the people trying to hold me back, going so loud. Look at how the people trying to hold me back, told me that. Party on my own now. Look at how the people trying to hold me back, going so loud. Look at how the people trying to hold me back, told me that. Slow down. Fuck going out, getting high on the weekend. On now, so loud. I'll party on my own. Hold me back, party on my own. I'll party on my own. Yeah, that's tight. Max Watson, Tony Romero. Party on my own.
Hot mess up east side. Heard about me, it's all lies. If you want good, change your mind, yeah. Don't want to intimidate, but more than just conversate. Don't want it to be too late, yeah. Know that I'm not usually your type. Darling, there's no need to be shy. See the curiosity in your eyes. Come a little closer, babe. I don't bite. And it's something that I can't hide, yeah. When I'm with you, I'm tongue-tied. I know you're not that dramatic, but I'm out of you, I'm an addict. And I can't get enough. And I know that I'm not usually your type.